What are the worst uniforms for every Major League Baseball team throughout a team's history? Today, I will be going through all 30 MLB teams in alphabetical order, and I will be giving my opinion on which uniforms are the worst for each given team. First up, we have the Arizona Diamondbacks, and I'm picking the 2016 to 2019 entire uniform set. We are starting out strong here. The paint overspray gradients for all the uniforms during this era are horrible looking. Why put all that on the shoulders of these jerseys? The overspray look was even on the hats during this stretch of time. These uniforms also featured an awful number font that was not pleasing to the eye. The charcoal gray road uniforms were still probably the worst looking uniforms out of this entire set, and that's truly saying something. Both charcoal gray uniforms were way too dark, and you could barely make out the names or numbers on the back of the jersey. This is why traditional gray has worked for so long on road uniforms. Charcoal gray on a road uniform is never the answer. The icing on the cake of this uniform set was probably the home pants, where it looked like everyone's ankles were bleeding. Luckily, the bloody pant gradient was thrown out the window after the 2016 season. Overall, this whole uniform set from head to toe was awful, and I'm glad I didn't stick around for longer than it did. Next up, we have the Atlanta Braves, and I'm picking the 1976 to 1978 home uniforms. The Braves uniforms during the span of time were definitely a product of its era. The uniform featured the Braves hat of that era, a pullover pinstripe jersey with the Braves script across the chest. It also featured giant red piping around the neck and the arms. The number font was at least standard issue for the time period, and the jersey, of course, was paired with pinstripes on the pants. I'm honestly not a big fan of any of the Braves uniforms during this era, but this uniform easily takes the cake for being the worst uniform in Braves history, and it really isn't close. Following the Braves, we have the Baltimore Orioles, and I am picking the 1971 to 1972 all-orange alternates. For most of the Orioles' history, they have had solid uniforms, maybe a bit lackluster at times, but ultimately solid. But for 3 games between 1971 and 1972, the Orioles rocked one of the ugliest uniforms to ever grace a baseball diamond. This uniform featured an orange button-down Orioles jersey, same as their home jersey, just a different color. It was also paired with the normal Orioles hat during that era, but the kicker is that the jersey was paired with orange pants. Luckily, the traffic cone uniforms only existed for a short time, and also a very interesting little tidbit that I learned while researching this video, apparently Brooks Robinson designed these uniforms, but I can't find any information online other than he owned a sporting goods company that supplied uniforms to the Orioles during that era. I'm not sure if that's an old wives' tale or if it actually happened. Following the Orioles, we have the Boston Red Sox, and I'm picking the 2021 to present day City Connect uniform. I'm sure Boston fans can find a reason to like these uniforms, but the Red Sox City Connect uniform has to be one of the most obnoxious uniforms I have ever seen grace a baseball field. I totally understand that the UCLA yellow and baby blue are the colors of the Boston Marathon and the state of Massachusetts. I just simply don't care for the color scheme and overall uniform. The number font and the letter font doesn't really do it for me either. The only props I can give this City Connect uniform is that it features white pants and not yellow or baby blue or black pants. And ultimately, I guess some people can find a reason to like this uniform, but I sure can't. Following the Red Sox, we have the Chicago White Sox, and I'm picking the 1976 to 1981 home and away uniforms. In what was supposed to be a callback to the early 1900s White Sox teams, quickly turned into a laughable joke, especially when the team decided to pair those collared jerseys, yes, collared jerseys, with shorts in 1976. Yep, believe it or not, the White Sox wore shorts while playing. If that is not the biggest uniform sin of all time when it comes to baseball, I don't know what is. Even without the ugliness of the shorts, this whole uniform set is just not the best, since it featured just a plain Sox hat for the home and road uniform. The jerseys just say Chicago across the chest, and of course, you gotta talk about the pants and the shorts. These are easily some of the worst uniforms that the White Sox ever worn, and that is truly saying something, since the team has wore, 600 different uniforms over the last 120 or so years. Next up is the Chicago Cubs, and I am picking the 1978 to 1981 road uniforms. The Cubbies have generally had some pretty good uniforms over the years, but that can't be said about their road uniforms during the 78 to 81 seasons. There is so much going on with this uniform. For starters, they smartly kept the traditional Cubs hat, but the jersey and pants where it gets funky. The baby blue jersey and pants with the white pinstripes is certainly definitely a look to behold. And of course, the jersey is also a pullover to help send this super 70s look over the top. The jersey is also graced with royal blue numbers and letters and a thick royal blue neck piping. How did anyone see the players' names or numbers on this jersey? I'm not sure, you got me. Pretty sure it all get washed out in a giant sea of blue worn by every player if you're watching in person or on TV back in the day. I honestly don't know what else to say about this uniform other than yikes. Next up is the Cincinnati Reds, and I'm picking the 2023 to present day City Connect uniform. Oh boy, another City Connect uniform is on this list. I don't know why every team outside of one, maybe two, decided to go with black pants with their City Connect uniform in 2023, but the Reds went full blackout mode. I will say their uniform is close to being decent, but they just missed the mark. The hat is nice enough, I will give them that, but the jersey is just way too dark, and the number font is dumb, and the abbreviation across the chest is also just silly. Even with that said, it would have been a lot better if the names and numbers were white or even red, but the black pants are just dreadful. I'm sorry, but baseball pants should never not be white or gray. Plain and simple. This all black uniform looks more like a men's softball uniform more than a Major League Baseball uniform. Following the Reds, we have the Cleveland Indians / Guardians, and I'm going with the 1974 to 1977 alternate mono red uniform. To simply put, this is another 70s disaster of a uniform. The mono red uniform is just plain bad. The Indians had some of the worst uniforms during this era, and the peak of their awfulness came in the mono red uniforms that they wore as an alternate. The Flintstones font featured on their hat and jersey really adds nothing to be desired. Same goes for the number font on the back. The uniform of course featured an elastic waistband because of course it does, it's the 70s. Ultimately this uniform looks like something Johnny and Roy from Emergency would have worn in a City League softball game against the Cops. Following the Guardians we have the Colorado Rockies, and I'm picking the 2022 to present day City Connect uniform. The City Connect uniform is easily their worst uniform, but they kind of course corrected that by featuring the jersey with white pants now on most occasions. As far as the City Connect uniform goes, this one isn't horrible, but it doesn't really compare to the rest of the Rockies uniforms in my opinion. With that said, this uniform features a lot of green and white, just like a Colorado license plate. The hat also features a state seal of sorts, which is super hard to make out on a hat. The jersey is pretty decent and features the Rocky Mountains with the number and letter font that goes along with the state's license plates. Originally, the uniform solely featured the god-awful green pants, but in 2023, the team announced that they will also be wearing the white pants with the City Connect jersey. I believe they wear one color for day games and one for night games, but I couldn't find any articles to quickly back that up. Following the Rockies, we have the Detroit Tigers, and I'm picking the 1972 to 1984 road uniform. Find it interesting during this era how the Tigers kept their classic Old English D button-up jersey and overall uniform for home games, but went with a modern 70s look on the road. It was a very drastic shift between the two. As far as pullover jerseys and elastic waistbands go, this isn't awful, it's just the worst the Tigers have to offer. More interesting, I was surprised to learn that they wore this particular jersey until 1993, even though they did add buttons to the jersey in 1985. The Tigers featured an orange English D on their hat, which paired with the orange they had on the road jersey and pants. The numbers and font was a standard bold text that was easy to read. As far as awful uniforms go, this is definitely one of the better looking ones, but it definitely needed a belt, which it seemed to get in 1993, but ultimately this is the worst uniform the Tigers had to offer. Following the Tigers, we have the Houston Astros, and I'm going with the 1997 to 1999 alternate uniform. Oddly enough, I'm not going to drag all the Astros late 90s uniforms through the mud, just one in particular. That is the alternate uniform which featured the navy blue hat and gold, and I mean gold, bill, along with a navy blue jersey that honestly looks more like a spring training jersey with just a logo on the top left of the chest, and the uniform was completed with either gray or white pants of that era. This jersey replaced a better looking navy jersey that said Astros across the chest. Also, it appears like they had almost an exact copy and paste jersey that they used for batting practice during that era, but it was just a 2 button up and it featured gold piping around the neck and arm sleeves. And of course, retrospectively, this was just overall a very odd time in Astros uniform history. Following the Astros, we have the Kansas City Royals, and I am picking the 1973 to 1991 powder blue road uniforms. I'm sure a lot of people aren't going gonna like that I picked this uniform, but here we go. Throughout that almost 20-year run of mono powder blue road uniforms, there were slight changes and alterations like adding the Royal script on the front and adding buttons in 1983. Nevertheless, I'm just not a fan of powder blue, baby blue, or whatever you want to call it. The blue jersey and blue pants are just too much for me. I know a lot of Royals fans love this iteration of the uniforms, and it's synonymous with George Brett, but it was just too overdone. The uniform featured the royal blue KC hat that everyone knows from the Royals, and a powder blue jersey either saying Kansas City in block font or the Royals in their Royal script font. It was also paired with powder blue pants, which looks bad, but at least when it featured a belt, it looked a bit better. I do find it odd though that the baby blue pants never featured any piping or anything else on the leg. A royal blue or royal blue and white stripe definitely could have helped break up the powder blue a little bit at least. Either way, gray pants should always be worn on the road. Following the Royals, we have the Los Angeles Angels, and I am picking the 1997 to 2001 whole uniform set. The Los Angeles Angels of Disney was not a good look. Even in the extent of the 90s or early 2000s, these uniforms are god awful. The uniforms featured two navy hats, one had a baby blue bill, and they both had the same Angels logo on it. The home and road uniforms were exactly the same, just different colors. Both uniforms had pinstripes, navy blue sleeves, awful letter and number font throughout both jerseys. Furthermore, the navy blue jersey, which featured baby blue sleeves and a baby blue drop shadow, might be the worst jersey on this list, and that is really saying something. The 98 to 99 jersey is a bit better since the sleeves are no longer baby blue and it features baby blue piping around the neck and chest with the same logo, but it's still not great. Then in its final iteration in 2000 and 2001, they slapped the same Angel script across the chest and removed any piping from the sleeves, neck, and chest. All these uniforms were also paired with either gray or white pinstripe pants. Without a doubt, this whole uniform set is a contender for the worst of all time. After the Angels, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers, and I'm picking the 2021 to present day City Connect uniform. A huge shocker, I know. Another City Connect uniform ruining a team with great uniforms. These things are awful, and the Dodgers fully know it too. From its original iteration, the Dodgers have already changed the hat and pants to go with this jersey. The uniform debuted in 2021 with an obnoxious hat that said Los Dodgers like it was a bargain bin hat at Kmart or something. The Dodgers hated that hat so much that in 2022 they changed the hat to the normal LA Dodger hat just with a black bill. The jersey said Los Dodgers in script across the chest with black stuff along the piping of the sleeves. I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be. It is reminiscent of the Diamondbacks overspray uniforms, if that helps anyone, but really though it is hard to see and some people probably overlook it completely. And of course it also featured royal blue pants which look like pajamas on the field. Then in 2023 they went a step further and ditched these stupid blue pants and decided to wear white pants with the blue jersey, and they are technically different pants than they normally wear, since the City Connect pants do feature a royal blue pinstripe down the leg. I hope this trend continues and in 2024 they just completely ditch the uniform altogether. I think everyone would be happier if that was the case. Following the Dodgers, we have the Miami Marlins, and I'm picking the 2012 to 2017 alternate uniform. Back in 2012, the Marlins made some bad decisions. They got rid of some great uniforms and changed their name to Miami instead of Florida. During this color and name change, the Marlins debuted an orange alternate jersey, and it truly was a sight to behold. It featured all the Marlins' new funky colors within the name script. The jersey was also paired with either white or gray pants since it was worn both at home and away. This uniform set was usually worn with a black Marlins hat of this era. Small little side tangent. Does anyone remember the Marlins wearing these orange helmets? Because I sure don't. Ultimately, this still remains one of the biggest name and uniform downgrades in Major League Baseball history. Following the Marlins, we have the Milwaukee Brewers, and I'm picking the 2013 to 2016 alternate uniform. The Brewers uniforms of the 2000s and 2010s weren't bad, but they were pretty bland. With that in mind, the beer colored jersey combo has to make up the worst uniform combo in Brewers history. This jersey was worn both at home and on the road, and it featured the normal Brewers hat of that era, the standard Brewers text across the chest, just in blue, along with their same letter and number fonts to match their other jerseys. It was also paired with white or gray pants that featured a gold and blue pinstripe down the side of the leg. I applaud the Brewers for trying this jersey and uniform combo as a whole, but it just looks so bad out on the field. This jersey definitely looks like one of those fan mock-ups you see online, but it actually got made. Following the Brewers, we have the Minnesota Twins, and I'm picking the 2016 to 2022 alternate uniform combo. For the Twins Despite having 400 different uniforms over the team's lifespan, they have done a pretty decent job at never having a super awful uniform. With that said, their red alternate jersey uniform combo is probably the worst the Twins have had to offer. This is just another jersey that just screams spring training or batting practice to me. It's not awful by any means, it's just boring for in-game use. This uniform usually featured a red cap with a blue bill with the Twins TC logo. The jersey had blue and gold piping around the neck and arms, and just had the TC logo on the left side of the chest. The number and letter font matched the other jerseys of this era. The jersey was also mainly worn at home with white pants and the same piping that was seen on the jersey. Ultimately not the worst uniform combo on this list by any means, but I just think it belonged at spring training or batting practice. Following the Twins, we have the New York Yankees, and I'm picking the 2023 to present day add on the sleeve uniforms. Alright, the Yankees are a really tricky one. They never had a bad uniform in their history, and they still have two of the best home and away uniforms baseball has to offer. And in saying that though, the uniform did take a step back in 2020 when the Nike logo was featured on the right side of the chest of all the uniforms in Major League Baseball. Now, since everyone had to do it, I'm not blaming the Yankees for that one, but I will blame them for adding an ad patch on their sleeve in 2023. One of the more unaesthetically pleasing things baseball has ever allowed was ads being added to the sleeve of jerseys, and the Yankees went out of their way to find an ad sponsor. It just cheapens the whole uniform, whether home and away, and just not a good look for any team, but especially the Yankees. Following the Yankees, we're going to the other team in New York, the New York Mets, and I'm picking the 2003 to 2004 alternate uniform combo. The Mets have had some really good uniforms over the years. They even had decent looking uniforms during the elastic waistband and pullover era, so I will give them props for that. With that said, the orange jersey alternate that they featured in 2003 and 2004 was very much a product of the 2000s. This uniform set featured their black hat with blue and orange interlocking NY, more famously paired with their blue spring training hat from that era, the orange jersey, which was actually a batting practice slash spring training jersey elevated to in-game use. The jersey had the Met script across the chest in blue, the player's numbers on the bottom left of the chest. The letter and number font also matched the other jerseys of that era. The jersey also had a big royal blue stripe that went underneath the arm. This was a very new and cool look that most teams did for their spring training and BP jerseys of that era. The pants that were paired with the jersey were the normal home or away pants that the Mets normally wore during that time. Ultimately, this uniform combo probably should have never left spring training or batting practice. Following the Mets, we have the Oakland slash Las Vegas A's, and I'm picking the 1968 to 1971 and 1973 to 1974 all yellow alternate uniform. Long before the Savannah Bananas were conceived, the Oakland A's were winning championships and wearing all yellow uniforms. During the stretch of time the A's wore all yellow, it did go through different variations. All these iterations featured the classic A's hat, either with a green cap and bill or a green cap and a yellow bill. It also had a yellow jersey which featured the A's logo in some fashion that matched their other uniforms during that season. The same goes for the letter and number fonts on the front and back of the jerseys. Now onto the yellow pants, which featured a green pinstripe on the leg of some sort, and both a belt version and an elastic waistband version existed during this uniform's tenure. Furthermore, it was also usually paired with yellow socks and stirrups. Following the A's, we have the Philadelphia Phillies, and I'm picking the 1938 blue and yellow uniforms. The Phillies have had a lot of uniforms over the years, and they all feature red and blue to some degree. But in 1938, the Phillies switched their colors to blue and yellow to celebrate the 300th anniversary of the Swedish Quaker arrival in Philadelphia. Both the home and away uniforms featured that season were not objectively bad by any means, but it's just so odd to see a team change its colors for a full season to celebrate something. The home and away uniforms featured a royal blue hat with a yellow P. The home jersey had yellow piping around the neck, chest, and arms. It also had a big P on the left side of the chest. The road jersey showcased the same piping, but had a Philly script across the chest. Both home and away uniforms featured the same style of numbers and piping on the pants. Ultimately, this is probably one of the best uniforms on this list. It's just so odd to see the Phillies not wearing some variation of red or blue or both. Following the Phillies, we have the Pittsburgh Pirates, and I'm picking the 2007 to 2008 red vest alternate uniform combo. The Pirates have featured some of the best uniforms in the history of baseball, did not do that with the alternate uniform that featured a red vest. The Pirates have always had a speck of red on their logo, thanks to the Jolly Rogers headband being red, but they wholeheartedly embraced the red in 2007 with a red vest. This uniform was worn with the traditional Pirates hat, along with the Pirates hat that featured a red bill and a red outline with the yellow P. The vest featured black and yellow piping around the arms and the same Pirates text across the chest as the home jerseys. A black undershirt was paired with this jersey since it was a vest. The team also just wore their normal home white pants with this jersey too. I honestly don't hate this overall uniform. It is just weird to see the Pirates in so much red. I can see why their fans disliked it and were ditched in only a couple couple of years. Following the Pirates, we have the San Diego Padres, and I'm picking the 2022 to present day City Connect uniform. This has to be the brightest and loudest uniform Major League Baseball has ever seen. I'll give it props for its uniqueness, but these colors just hurt your eyes when you're trying to watch a ball game. Furthermore, I doubt the players enjoy wearing all these funky colors all that much too. These uniforms feature a mint green hat with a pink interlocking SD. The chest says San Diego across the chest in a unique looking late 80s, early 90s font, and the text also has both pink and green and is highlighted in yellow. The front of the jersey also has a pink number on the left lower part of the jersey. The right arm sleeve is pink and the left arm sleeve is mint green. Now on the back of the jersey, the name is in yellow and is in more of a traditional font, and the numbers on the back have the same font as the front. The pants on this uniform are white to match the jersey, which I will give props for, but the white pants have a pink pinstripe down the leg. I guess this uniform is supposed to capture the San Diego vibes or something like that. It'll be interesting to see how much longer this uniform is featured by the Padres. Following the Padres, we have the San Francisco Giants, and I'm picking the 2021 to present home uniform. The Giants had one of the best home uniforms in all of baseball before they had to go and mess it up in 2021. Adding the names to the back of the home jersey completely tanks the whole look for me. The coolness of this uniform before adding the name on the back was how this uniform paid homage to the Giants uniforms of the 1950s, but adding the name on the back of the jersey just ruins it. Also, just to add insult to injury, in 2023, the Giants added an ad patch on their sleeve, and it's huge and it's dreadful to look at. I'm also not going into detail about this uniform since everyone knows what it looks like. I'm just bringing up two drastic downgrades that were added in the last few years. Following the Giants, we have the Seattle Mariners, and I am picking the 2023 to present day City Connect uniform. As a Mariners fan, these uniforms are loathsome to look at during Friday night home games. I also hate how the Mariners decided to keep this uniform and the Sunday alternate uniform, but ditch the road grays. Just an absolutely stupid decision. I'd personally ditch these Sunday alternates since City Connects aren't going anywhere, have those awful City Connects worn on Sundays, and bring back the road grays. Alright, with my mini tangent out of the way, the Mariners City Connect uniform features a royal blue cap with a black bill and a yellow trident logo. The jersey is royal blue with yellow and black piping around the neck and arms. The Seattle across the chest is the same font as the Pilots font. The Seattle across the chest also has a black drop shadow, which doesn't look very good. The back of the jersey features a stylized letter and number font that matches the front of the jersey fairly well. And of course, there's more drop shadow on the back too. Biggest sin of all in this uniform is the black pants. I hate them so much. I could live with the jersey and the hat if it was paired with white pants or gray pants, but I can't stand the black pants. The black pants truly makes them look like a men's softball team that only wins 54% of their games. The sooner these uniforms disappear into the abyss, the better. Following the Mariners, we have the St. Louis Cardinals, and I'm picking the 2023 to present ad patch on the uniforms. I'll be honest, the Cardinals are a lot like the Yankees and they have great uniforms. I even oddly don't mind their powder blue uniforms that they brought back. My only real nitpick or gripe with the Cardinals is that they introduced an ad patch in 2023. I know that's just a thing in baseball nowadays, but it doesn't mean I have to like it. And of course the Nike logo in 2020, but they didn't have any control over that. Following the Cardinals, we have the Tampa Bay Rays, and I'm picking the 2023 to present alternate uniform. The Rays have some of the most uninspiring uniforms in baseball right now, especially when it comes to their baby blue alternate jersey combo that they introduced in 2023. This jersey replaced the other baby blue jersey that they wore for a number of years. This uniform is worn both on the road and at home, features both the TB Navy hat and the Devil Ray Navy hat. The baby blue jersey just has the sun ray on the left side of the chest with a navy blue pinstripe around the neck and arm. The back numbers and letters are the same as their all navy alternate jersey. This is just another case of a jersey that just feels like a spring training / batting practice jersey that shouldn't be used in real games. The Rays even wore this jersey during spring training in 2023, but I'm not holding that against them completely since Nike is forcing everyone to have only 4 jerseys and a City Connect, so a lot of teams have just started to wear their normal alternate jerseys during spring training. Following the Rays, we have the Texas Rangers, and I'm picking the 2023 to present City Connect uniform. Hey, look, more black pants! Pair this jersey with matching cream pants and it would be more than adequate, but nope, they had to wear black pants. The hat is black with a stylized white TX. The jersey features the same TX just in black on the right side of the chest with red numbers on the left side of the chest, and a number font matches the TX font. The arm sleeves also feature a black pinstripe. The back of the jersey has the same number font and color as the front. The awful black pants also feature a white pinstripe and a white belt. The more I look at this uniform, the more I dislike it. Following the Rangers, we have the Toronto Blue Jays, and I'm picking the 2004 to 2011 home uniforms. Talk about a very mid-2000s 2000s redesign. This uniform was so bland and boring. The uniforms featured a black or gray hat with the new Blue Jays logo. The jersey just said Jays on the front with no piping or anything. The back had a very computer-age number and letter font that isn't all that eye-catching, which featured light blue and gray throughout the entire uniform, and the pants just had a single blue pinstripe run down the leg. Talk about one of the most boring uniforms to ever been worn on a baseball diamond. Following the Blue Jays, we have the Washington Nationals. The Nationals are one of the rare teams to not have any horrendous uniforms over their almost 20-year existence. Even their City Connect uniform is one of the better City Connects in all of baseball, which isn't saying much, but still. The Nationals don't even have an ad patch on their jersey as of the recording of this video. I hope they are able to keep holding out on that front and don't ever feature an ad patch, but we know they eventually will. But in saying that, I hope they keep running out good uniforms for many seasons to come. Well, that about wraps up this video. Let me know your least favorite uniforms down in the comment section below. And while you're down there, if you can like the video and subscribe to the channel, that'd be greatly appreciated. Until next time, guys, everyone have a great day. Thanks for watching.